Hello and welcome back. Today we are continuing with the Fanhome Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Megazord. We are now on part 68 and we are returning to our Mastodon build. So without any further ado, it is building time. And part 68. Get this opened. Take a look at what we got. It's heavy, which suggests maybe it's got some die cast in there. Oh yeah, that's a nice die cast bit. That is obviously going to be the side of the Mastodon and the eventual shoulder blade for our Megazord. Only a couple of little pieces. Get some different screws this time. And put that over there. And that there. So get our book, and we are on the right front leg of the Mastodon Dinozord, part 2. So initially we bring in this piece, and we need our connector, and this will plug in to there apparently. And apparently we have some silicone. Right, be careful, there is a silicone washer. It is loose in the packaging. There is no paper, plastic around it. So be careful that you don't misplace that. This seems to start the assembly of the top of the right front leg of the Mastodon Dinosaur by positioning the connecting piece over the smallest screw post on the left outer corner. So you can see here we have a very small little screw post. I have to say I'm hoping that's not going to take any weight at all or anything, because that is a very thin piece. You can see even there, just applying pressure, it's bending. I'm concerned that that could snap very easily if not careful. It goes with the back piece facing against the body. You can see there is a lip here and a cut or a groove for the lip, so that sits on like that. And then we need to get our PWM screw, which is going to be this one. The PBs are donated with a small blue mark. Now if they'd only done that with all the other screws, it would be so much easier. Interestingly, clearly to space out the instructions and fill the individual magazine, screwing this in is a completely separate stage to placing it in place, which is kind of amusing because most of them just show screwing it straight into place. But clearly this week is such a small little assembly stage that they felt the need to space it out even further. We then get the washer, which will go into this groove here, like so, and our back piece here will come and fit over like so, I believe. Yes, I believe that is going to rest in like that. And we have to turn the page to be told that we have to screw it in with the PB screw. because that's in. You get a nice movement there, presumably for transformation and movement of the shoulder. Moving on to part 69, we're on part 3 of the right front leg of the Mastodon Dinozord. Let's get rid of our screws. And again, we have some more metal plating. We have 3 bags of screws. We have a loose washer and 2 connecting pieces by the looks of things. So first up we have those PWM screws donated with the blue marking. We have a PM screw, which is just the silver, and then the PWB is the black screws. So first up is taking this plate, and much like our previous issue, we are to slide this connector here, and it is to, with this lip facing against the wall, and that is the PWM screw it needs. Yes, PWM, which is the one donated with the blue mark. Oh, for God's sakes. This feels a little big for the definitely that screw. It just feels like it's too big for the part, especially given the last one didn't use such a big screw. Well, let's get this screwed in. Or not. No. Let's see what we can do about this. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit that on. I'm going to get some tape and we will tape that against the wall so it can't slide about. We'll try screwing it in that way. Nope, still. Still just will not go in at all. I'm going to have a look and play with this off camera, otherwise I'm going to destroy things. Right, I had to sort that off camera. The instructions are wrong. They are completely wrong. So the instructions here advise you to use the PWM screw for this latch. And per the instructions, the PWM are the ones with the blue stripe. It then tells you to use a PM screw on this one here, and the PM screws are the round-headed ones. However, these are too big for this screw hole, and these are too small for that screw hole. The only way they fit together is by putting the PWM screw here, like the previous instructions, and putting the PM screw here. So if you, I hope you haven't been as caught out like I was. That could have resulted in some serious issues. Thankfully, I haven't damaged, or I don't appear to have damaged the screw ports, so everything's still fitting nice and tight. So next up, we are fitting our port, the joint articulation, which apparently just sits on like that. That was incredibly disappointing. While there are issues with, pages missing and things like that, the fact that the instructions clearly donate using the wrong screw zip parts is incredibly poor, and could have resulted in some serious damage to the Zord parts, resulting in it not operating the way it should. This is a premium product. It's, over £1,000. I do not expect that kind of error with the instructions. That is incredibly poor on Fanhome's part. I don't know if they've just taken the instructions from the original French release. They probably have, but the fact is there still would have been a translation adjustment and would have had to have ensured things still worked the correct way, and the fact that they haven't done that is incredibly poor. But thankfully I managed to figure that out before I broke something. I believe eventually these two bits will clasp together. Or not. My concern is this piece here does not. Yes, these will eventually connect together. I'm going to eventually. There's a few other stages we need to do before these come together, but yes, they need to clip together. I do have concerns about it not resting properly. Keep an eye on that. That may have to do with some more finagling when we get there. Moving on to our next part, which is the right front leg of the Mastodon Megazord Part 4. Alright, we now have parts 70 and 71, which should finish off this arm, or this stage of the arm, should we leg even, should we say. So this has looks like our joint piece, and it's just an ABS plastic. We have a load of TWM screws. Thankfully there's only one type of screw this time, so if things are wrong, they're all going to be wrong. And then we have our various absorbers, etc, etc. I have to say I am very, very disappointed with that last stage. That is not an error I would have expected from such a high-end model kit. I'm really enjoying this build, and I'm really excited to have it. Ever since I saw the French release initially, I've been really wanting this. However, those tiny little mistakes in the instructions or things not being as clear as they should be have soured somewhat the build experience for me, which is disappointing, because otherwise this is a really fantastic looking kit. Yeah, I'm 70 stages in on this compared to the 20 odd on the Dalek, and the Dalek one's been so much better. Things, you know, touch wood, that'll stay like it throughout, but things have been so much clearer and easier to assemble than some of the stages here. They've just little bits and pieces where you feel that things could have been improved or thought out a little better than they have been. Now I happened to see someone post a all but complete Fanhome Millennium Falcon the other day, and I have to say that shocked me. I was shocked at how clean it looked. Given it's, you know, the same sort of price as the Megazord or the Enterprise or whatever else, there seemed like there was so many paint apps missing from it. There was so many. It just looked really clean, when the Millennium Falcon's supposed to be scuffy. It's supposed to be used and full of scorch marks and damage and everything else, but all of that was missing from the kit, which just looked clean for the most part. And that for me, seeing that was very, very disappointing. I wouldn't have expected that at all, given, again, you're paying the same price as any of these other kits. Those paint apps should have been already there and should have already been mandatory on that build. Now, I had no intention of getting that kit at all, but seeing that certainly put me off getting it. So all of those bits are screwed in like that, as we've just seen. Right, okay, that goes in the future. So you have this connector piece, which looks like it's eventually going to go in here. It's not installed in this part, nor does the instructions show it as a leftover piece. So I was concerned there that I had missed a stage, which I haven't. Again, it's those little things which are causing problems that they shouldn't. We have shock absorber, which needs to be installed in the body, and that goes in here. Right. That needs to face outwards like that, and then that should just slide in like that. Oh. Don't want to do what I'm doing. I've got the sharp end of the screwdriver. I only had to slip and I could have seriously injured myself. So kids at home, don't do what I'm doing. Get an adult to help you. And if you're an adult, get someone who's a little more safety conscious than I am, apparently. That's as in as far as it will go. So that rests. We'll get rid of our spare screw. Let's put the clip to one side and bring in part 71, which feels really heavy. This is our cover plates, and they are a die cast metal, and interestingly everything is pre-assembled, except they won't turn. Oh, that is a stiff pre-assembly. I'm quite surprised that this is all pre-assembled and not something we've had to assemble ourselves. It seems like all of this should have been our own assembly. I'm not necessarily going to complain, it just seems like an odd thing for the kit to do when everything else has been literally connect this to this and this to this, etc, etc, etc. Anyway, bringing in our kit, we need retrieve the Mastodon's front leg parts that were assembled in issue 69 and 70, insert the rectangular end of the metal spindle 70.3 into a rectangular hole on the joint articulation of 69.4, which is this one here. It's just getting this to line up and push that in. And there is that. Then it wants us to put in that connector piece, which apparently goes in on this one. That will go in like that. Why that wasn't done with the previous build, I don't know. Hopefully once everything else is assembled, it popping out won't be an issue. Right, then this needs to come in, so this connects here, and then this comes and sits over all of this. There we go. That's that in. That's clasped over there, which is fitted. Seems like a slightly odd way of securing those two pieces together, but I guess it is what it is. Right, then we need two PB screws coming in from this side apparently, which go into our two screw holes. Okay, so one goes into this screw hole here and the other screw hole up here. And secure. Make sure that's all straight. Get a screwdriver which is long enough. Put these in and put that through down like that. And that should screw in like so. And this one will come in and screw in there. There we go. That's a nice tight fit. That still moves there. This lifts up and moves freely. Presumably with some movement these will eventually be able to fold in on each other. I'm not going to mess too much with that now. Those are very tight joints though. Presumably that will be our eventual connector for our arm and the other leg. And there we have it. It's definitely coming along nicely. You can start to see how things are forming up very, very well. Our connector for the headpieces. So yeah, it's now top heavy. There we go. That's it for this assembly stage. There's more to do on the Mastodon before we move on to other Zords, but I think we can leave those for another stage. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Stay safe, and until next time, may the power protect you.